I'm ready.
Let's fuck this pig.
They might have heard that. I hope not.
Wait, is that the first thing they heard?
That might have been the first thing they heard. Because, like, the moment you said that, like, I started seeing the bar moving. So I was like, I hope it cut off just before or just after.
No, they heard it.
They heard it?
That's why you got.
Oh, man. What do you mean? We just said, all right, we're starting. See, that's why we have the JPI warning, because we're starting is not a clear indicator, bro. I'll just get the lipstick off first. I can't. Oh my god. Dude, I swear on my side, my camera looks like it. I don't know what's going on. But what's up, guys? Welcome. Good night, good afternoon, good evening. Ignore whatever the hell you just heard. Jesus, bro. Oh my god, let me move my mic a little closer. Oh, but what's going on? Yo, first of all, sorry for not posting up this last week's video of the Fall Partner panel. Slight technical difficulties. We'll get that one up as soon as possible. So you guys are probably going to see a Fall Partner panel video going live over the weekend. And then this video here should be going live the following Wednesday at noon. But
Yep.
welcome everybody. How's it going? Let's do before I start talking a little bit too much, let's do the intros. So let's start off with Stunt, then Goose, then Bearded. Introduce yourself. Who are you guys?
Blaze Bacon.
I can't with you, bro.
Maple bacon.
Goose Slice Bacon. Get me out.
I'm Stunt, Mr. Hollywood, bringing you the Hollywood action to the gaming arenas. Enjoy.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I like it, right? Getting spicy with it.
Enthusiasm in
All
there.
right,
Okay.
I'm out of here. I can't.
I got
top
the
that,
approval
so-
right there.
You were a little,
guys.
a little too timid that time. The next time you just deliver that shit, I like it.
Yeah. Say it with confidence. You got it.
Better than what I was going to say.
Man, Goose, you are awesome, and my buddy Dennis Miller was on the far left. You guys won't get that joke. It's just a ski joke from earlier. All right, Bearded Wolverine.
What's up, everybody? I'm the Bearded Wolverine. You're Michigan Wonder, also Fall Partner. Always happy to do these shows, and I'm excited for the topic tonight. So, Windu, on to you.
What up? So I am WinduTheMace, aka Windu. Welcome, homies, to the Fault Partner panel. Essentially, we're going to mainly focus on Fault, the recent updates, things like that, right? We might veer off in random conversations at time. So do be warned, I am not liable for anything that these individuals say out loud, specifically the fucking beginning of the whole episode. But yeah, I wanted to ask you guys something real quick before we actually get into anything. When's the last time that you guys played Fault with like a new player, like brand new, like they only touched Paragon and now they're in? How long has it
I'm
been?
not gonna lie, I haven't played Fault all week.
Can I honestly ask you, what do you consider new? Like what level? The lowest level I've played with was 35.
No,
He's talking about new, like new as in like, hey, I've
like
only
they
played
just
4
started the game. Yeah, like they just started the game. They just got done with their AI matches. Like you're homies with them. You're trying to get them into the game. Like, yo, try it out. You're gonna have a blast, etc. Stuff like that.
If I have done that, I didn't know I was doing that type thing. That's like when I'm going into if I'm just queuing up and somebody gets on my team, I don't know if they're that new or not. Last time I played with somebody that's first time played the game was pre-13. So
It was
It's
about
been a
a
while.
week ago for me. It was my buddy Finn Band. He just picked up the game. He was played Paragon with him for a very long time. He's just now in a position where he has a computer that he can run the game on. So he picked it up and I played with him. That was the last time I played.
Bro, that's exciting when you get a new computer and shit. And you're like, yeah, let's fucking go. I will say though, I had a buddy that I used to play competitive with back in the day, right? But he only did Paragon. So he came into it thinking, hey man, I did competitive in Paragon. I'll be chilling, bro. I got this. So he did 2 matches before I even hopped on the Discord call. The first thing he tells me is like, bruh, I literally am 2 games deep and I've already run into like the most toxic individual in existence. Like homies telling me to uninstall the game and shit. Like horrible experience. He's like, but I'm still going to play with you, Windu. So let's try it out. Let's see what's going on. We play, and him by himself, regardless of what anybody else was saying, like he was trying his absolute hardest, but it was incredibly difficult for him to actually catch on to everything quickly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like even with the AI matches and stuff, like he tried jungling, like everything from smiting all the camps constantly. Like smite isn't something that was in Paragon. You know what I'm saying? Like we never really had like a smite, especially a monolith, and that's where he mainly played. And like the item buying systems, the recommended items and stuff, like he was having an incredibly rough time. Now, I personally also watched him, like I queued with him. We got matches quick, couple minutes. I was like, okay, solo queue and I'll spectate you. Like just share your screen on Discord. Let's make it a little bit easier because you're new. I don't want you to go up against more experienced people and such. But at that point, I don't know what was happening, but he was like at 1,000 elo, brand fresh new. Literally sat there for like 30, 40 minutes. Not a single match. He's like, all right, bro, I gotta go to bed. And I'm like, that's fucking wild. We literally were just like almost instant popping queues. Like crazy. But while I was in his lobby, but as soon as I left, he just didn't get a match. Do we know if there's anything in place for new players? Like, have we heard anything like that? Or was it just bad luck for him?
No, my analysis wouldn't be a fair one either, because since we're kind of practicing for that tournament and we're constantly like with friends, that's why I'm getting seasoned players, you know what I mean? But to answer your question, I've noticed that newer players are being matched with a lot of the seasoned players. So
just to fill lobbies.
Probably, I don't think it was a bad luck kind of thing. I think that's what we're getting, especially when you queue at nights, late nights.
I mean, he was
that he was solo queuing.
NA East 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's like prime time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was shocked. I was like, bro, that's weird. And then I was like, okay, but with him, we didn't have an issue. It's just the moment that he went solo, couldn't find a match. I was like, yo, he got 12, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah. Huh.
That's what I'm saying. I was just shocked. I didn't know what was going on. He might have just had really, really bad luck, you know? But at the end of the day, he definitely had a rough experience. But now, can we talk about that subject in itself? Like the fact that MOBAs in general are already a very, very hard genre to get into. Like the barrier to entry is very, very difficult. It's not for the faint of heart. You got to learn so many things. Even if you're only doing one role, there's so much to it. But now add to that the 3D aspect, add to that the complexity that Fault offers on top of everything. Do you guys think that Fault should make things easier for new players? Do you think that they should keep it? Because retaining new players has been an issue that we brought up in the past, right? And they have like an AI system. They got that little tutorial video and stuff. But how many players are actually going to sit here and play for the entire month to actually try and get used to the entire systems? Because my boy did like 3-4 matches. He was like, I'm done. And I promise you, he was struggling and like barely able to grasp onto things. Like he literally was sitting there like, I don't understand why the enemy jungler is 4 levels above me right now.
I think it rolls right back around to the main problem that Fault has is the low player base. He's not getting matched up against new players. Like when you're matched up against new players, you can gradually learn that stuff as you improve. But you're just tossed in the water at this point. You're tossed in amongst the sharks and told to swim. It's a little hard to do, a little rough.
Right. I think something they can do, to help with that situation being thrown against, more experienced players, Now, I'm not saying ELO grants experience, but usually when you're the lower ELO, your experience isn't. Even though you could be
Like it
playing,
reflects.
you could have had 800 matches. It doesn't mean that you're all that good at the game if you're sitting down there with a lower ELO, right? So I think right now, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I know when you come off of your bot matches, like you're sitting at like a decent high bronze, at 1,000 ELO or whatever. I think if they brought that number down, to 900 or 850 or something, and that makes you makes you queue up against the lower ELO people and make you climb up that bronze ladder, that might be a little bit easier for the newer players when they come in, instead of being jumped into almost silver, playing against almost silver players. Because of right now, with the low player base, the MMR is expanded to where if you're sitting at 1,000 ELO, there's a good chance you could play against a 1,200 ELO person and you're playing against a silver.
That's a good point. That is interesting that he literally just did his placement matches with me, and he ended up at 1,000 ELO off rip. And that's not a bad point. Like maybe new players specifically, because they have a smaller player base, maybe new players should be like at 800 ELO, 900 ELO, 850, somewhere, just like a little bit lower to almost ensure that they go up against less experienced individuals.
I really think so, because I think ELO right now in Fault isn't reflective of ELO in Paragon.
Yeah, not proper
Right,
ELO.
I mean,
yeah,
if you're bronze ELO in Fault, you were probably gold in Paragon. You could have been gold in Paragon, right? Like,
oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It is knowing your personality, the way you help new players and you explain everything. Even though it's people consider not that big of an issue, being toxic is the elephant in the room. Like the fact that he mentioned to you that there was such a player like that could have been part of the reason he doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to. It seems like he doesn't want to disappoint. You know what I mean? Get into a game where he's ruining somebody else's ELO. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting, because I would too. You know what I mean? If I jumped in and somebody's extremely toxic off my first 2 games and I end up playing with higher ELO players, it's going to bother me, no matter how much of the game I try to understand.
Yeah, for sure. And that's completely natural too. Just getting into a game, doing poorly, affecting other people's games. Like, damn, guys, my bad. I mean, I know exactly who it was that was toxic, because he's like, it was this guy, and he mentions the name. I was like, I know that name very well. So unfortunately, I know exactly who you're talking about. But
You called me out. I appreciate that.
I can't with you, bro. But not, bro. Like it's been a good minute since I actually just played with like a brand new player and partied up and tried to go through everything. Right? Like usually, I'm either like I got a little squad going. This was just like, hey, he hit me up. I just put the baby to sleep. I was like, I might be able to do like a match, maybe 2 if we get lucky. So that's what I was able to do. But it was almost discouraging to watch, like it was rough. Like I had to like, hey man, just keep going, keep trying. I know you got this, Brad. Just let's play some other time. You'll get the hang of it. MOBAs, they're gonna take a bit. Like I was kind of talking to him to try and convince him almost to give the game another shot. And that's somebody that like hardcore love Paragon, was dying, like literally dying to play new remakes, playing Paragon all the time. So it's I would say that it's still an issue, the onboarding process.
I think it's a problem that not only Fault's going to run into, like all these games are going to run into that problem. Like people remember themselves being fucking insanely good at Paragon. They remember that moment that they got that pentakill, or they tossed some rampage rock across the map and got this kill. That's what they remember from Paragon. They don't remember all the games they lost. Like they don't remember getting their shit pushed in sometimes where they just never even took one tower. That shit happens. It happens in every PvP style game. So they come into Fault thinking that they're going to be hot shit. I know Paragon, therefore I know Fault. And then they get rolled. And it's kind of rough. It's a little rough, and it's going to happen to all the games. That really, I mean,
right?
Like, well, Overpowered's closed beta test. Like I was rolling people just because there was so many new people that weren't playing that had never played before. And that I had, have a little bit of experience playing Fall. It does translate a little bit into Overprime, just being third person and all that. But people that just aren't practiced are going to get rolled. It's just sad fact of the matter. People are going to have to live with that for a bit until they get a little better.
Yeah, that's one thing. These games aren't going to be Paragon. Some of them are trying to be closer to Paragon than the others, but they're not going to be Paragon. So it's not going to be a 1-for-1. You'll be able to jump right in. It's going to be exactly what you remember. And agree with what Goose said. This isn't like you remember the good things. You don't remember all the bad. Another thing is like, it's not like riding a bike. You can't just jump on and be like, all right, this is exactly how I remember. And a lot of those people that were playing Paragon, a lot of them were playing with a controller. And now it's only mouse and keyboard. I mean, you can put a controller on there if you wanted to, but like it's not like most people are playing mouse and keyboard now instead of going from controller. So that's a change up as it is, but even if you were playing mouse and keyboard, in Paragon, and you come over here playing mouse and keyboard Fault, it's still been 3 years, 4 years since you've actually done that. Like it's not riding a bike. You can't just jump into it. Be like, yep, it's exactly how I remember. My fingers are, I jump on Fault after not playing for a week and I'm like, damn, I'm rusty. That's a week. Now imagine trying to jump into a game you haven't played for 4 years. It's completely different.
The only benefit is that somewhat what the enemy can do, which is a major hurdle in any MOBA, is knowing what somebody can do.
Their kids
angling for. But even then, there's things that have been changed, so you don't know 100% what they can do. Like all of a sudden, Kwong throws a fucking lightning bolt at you. You're like, where the hell did that come from?
Right, the moment he kamehas your ass. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, trying to keep it a little bit on the constructive side for here. What do we think would be? Let's just say like one thing that might help alleviate the problem, not fix it, because fixing, I don't think that's an issue that'll ever be fixed. Like barrier to entry is always going to be a thing, but what would be something that could help make it easier for new players to actually understand? Maybe like a actual playable tutorial down the road, just like a quick, simple follow the steps.
Playable tutorial, a little bit smarter, like better acting AI. Like right now you only have Murdock and Muriel that just push down the dual lane. They don't do anything else. There's no rotations, nothing to actually help you learn. You don't get ganked if you go in as an ADC in an AI tutorial right now. You don't get ganked at all. There's no ganking there, so like you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So you're not this game's easy. I just push down lane. I got it. And then you go into an actual game. You're like, I don't push down lane. What's going on? Like I said about the elo, bringing the elo down after you do your playing games, bring that elo down to a lower starting elo, just so you're not just shoved right into the higher people. That's a couple things off the top of my head that I think you could do to get to make it a better transition for the new players.
I think that's the best fix that has been presented tonight, was just lower that starting elo, like have everybody start at fucking 0 or some shit, and then work their way up from there. Don't start middle and then go down or up. Start at the bottom and then start working your way up. I don't want to see them dumb the game down in any way, though. Like that's kind of what killed Paragon. I would hate to see them do that just for the problems that they're having now, because this is not full release and they haven't really marketed the game yet. Like, I would like to see how the game performs with a larger player base once they actually put a little work and time into doing that.
Yeah, the game how it is now with a larger player base, because when it first released, the game wasn't what it is now. It's a completely different game, in regards of how we're playing and how it feels and everything like that. So like we need that larger player base that we had in the beginning playing now to see what it's like and how it goes and how everything interacts that way. So that's definitely something that needs to happen. And I agree with you. I don't want them to dumb it down either. Like I'm finally, starting to grasp what's going on myself, and I'm enjoying it. And I just want a bigger player base, to go and enjoy it with.
You have progressed a lot. Shout out to that shit, by the way. But I wanted to say real quick. So let's say they do go free to play. let's say they get an influx of players, larger player base. Should changes like, hey, make sure that they start at a lower elo, like be done now? Like have everybody start at bronze and work their way up? Because traditionally in a lot of MOBAs actually, you'll either do placement matches or you start at typically silver. Like in Paragon, you started right at silver and then you moved up and down. So would they want it? Like should all that shit be done before early access? Should early access be like even moved back a little bit to implement certain things? You get what I'm saying? Because that's a tricky situation that we then start getting into. Is it more beneficial to implement all that before early access?
Don't you think that the issue would solve itself if they go free to play and get a good amount of players coming in? Because the higher elo players would end up automatically being matched against each other. If you have a big enough player base, you wouldn't need to do any changes.
I mean, yeah, like definitely the higher player base is like the quick band-aid for everything, right? Like it'll help smoothen out all these jagged edges that we got everywhere. But once a bigger player base is there, then there's still a lot of things that they have to look at or have to, eventually do get out the way, like the possibility of an actual tutorial to follow and do the steps. Hold on, I'm about to check that picture that got sent right there, bro.
Fuck you guys.
Yo, my God, man. Yo. Okay, I gotta show this. Do I have permission to show this? Is that cool with you?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. As much as I fuck with people, it would be terrible if I couldn't get fucked with myself.
Right?
Chat saying that this looks like him. Hey man, chat might be onto something. That's all I'm saying. Chat might be onto something. Keep rolling, right?
I guess it would be nice. Everybody.
I can't, bro. Oh my God. Yo, my bad. I totally went like off the deep end about this subject. Was there anything specific that you wanted to talk about, guys?
Oh, I mean, I wanted to discuss we talked about in last week's episode about free to play, and if we think that SMS is close or Fault is close to being free to play. Somebody was saying, there's people saying that it's not even close, and we discussed and we all kind of agreed that we actually do think it's pretty close. So I wanted all of us to collaborate together and come up with things that SMS needs to do before they go free to play. What are some things that are needed in this game before they go free to play?
I'll be real. I think, look at Sockcap. I can't with him, bro. He's saying, yo, Windu, please be on time next time. My panel watching time has been hampered with. Hey, wait a minute. We didn't start on time?
No.
Were we late?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's my bad. 100%. 100% my bad. I apologize, Senor Cap. Yeah.
Well, we've only been going for 34 minutes. And what time is it now, Ray, for you?
Oh, yeah, it's not 30. Yeah, we're late. We're late as fuck.
It was sooner than the other partner panels, but it wasn't on time.
I hate him, bro. I can't.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. All right, that's my B. But no, like, so besides ELO, like making the starting ELO lower, right? And besides a starting tutorial, can Strange Matters as a company do anything to help alleviate the barrier to entry? And we'll go into something that they're starting to do here with like Twitter posts and stuff like that.
Marketing. Literally start marketing the game, get the player base to be bigger. When the player base is bigger, guess what? You have all those new people playing against all those new people.
Like stricten up the MMR, like make it stricter. So like
you would
new with the new, basically.
You can't make it strict right now because you only got, X amount of people playing. If you make it strict, then we're all going to sit here and wait forever in queue. So you can't do that. But when you have a bunch of people trying to queue up together, you can then, make it a little more strict and add to it. And then, you people will do what they got to do.
If Stranger Matter Studios is kind of on the edge whether marketing is the right time or not, this is definitely the right time. The game looks great. The game feels great, especially after these small patches. After patch 15, the small ones that they've been sending out. It's definitely the right time. And I'm sure that if the word goes out to the ones that have left prior to patch 14, prior to patch 13, and come back and try the game, I think they're going to stick around, and they're going to stick around for good. Like they won't leave. It's at a point where the game will sell itself. The game will prove itself. You know what I mean?
I could see that. The more of a finished game it's becoming day by day, the more enticing it'll be, the less they actually have to focus on selling their game, because it'll start speaking for itself. I could see that. Now,
so Odo here says, I think another free weekend might be a good idea for the game in a pretty good state. It can bring people back in.
Without patching.
Yes, without patching. And I mean patching at all, not just
like major ones, yeah.
No, patching. Do not, like right now, because of what I've seen in Gen Chat today, after the patch today, people start talking about, hey, I'm getting frame drops. Hey, I'm getting frame drops. Hey, I'm getting frame drops. I don't know if there's a correlation or if there's something going on, but it's like, hey, after this patch, I'm getting frame drops. So do not introduce a patch and then do a free weekend, because there's something going on. I don't know if they're equal or what, but something's going on. Wait until you're at hey, people aren't bitching about frame drops right now. Let's do a free weekend. Yeah. Just in the middle of nowhere, just do it. I don't care if we're in the middle of patch, whatever. We're not going to push a patch. We're just going to do a free weekend. That's what needs to happen. And then you get those people to come in and they get to enjoy a stable game and not to see all the issues that we have after a patch is pushed.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Bearded.
I really thought the free-to-play weekend... Oh, my bad. I was going to say, I really thought the free-to-play weekends were, like, going to happen way more frequently. Like, I thought, like, once a month or maybe, like, once every 2 months, the way that I at least perceived their free weekend, them doing more free weekends and stuff. Like, how they hit us with a free weekend when Phase was announced, and then, like, about a month later, they hit us with another free weekend, right? I was like, you know what? Like, that's not bad. Like, they've been pretty consistent on these free-to-play weekends. Like, I could totally see them, like, hey, once a month, hit it. But I noticed that it looks like they're trying to do more free-to-play weekends are based around a major update. You notice, like, they changed the map, free-to-play weekend. And are like, hey, they added all this stuff, or, like, visual update to the map, free-to-play weekend. So you guys are asking them to not do updates and things that might affect performance or whatever when it's free to play weekend.
Your updates, wait a week, and then do the free to play weekend. Like, yeah, do your updates, and then there's always an optimization fix that comes through and fixes everything. And we're like, oh, sweet, it's back on track. Like, wait till that hits, and then do your free to play weekend.
You guys play it, I don't. But doesn't League of Legends do like a whatever this week or whatever, there's another spot you can play and you can do the test. You can play on the next patch or whatever.
Oh, the PTR.
Then, they have a public test server. Yeah.
Yeah. So like something similar to that. Like right now, that's all we are as a public test server. That's what it is as a closed beta or as a early access game. That's we're all paid testers. That's what we are. So like that's fine. But when you're doing a free to play weekend, you're trying to bring new people in. Those new people aren't coming in to be a tester. They're not coming in to help find the bugs. That's not what they're here for. So you don't want to sell them that. You want to sell them a finer looking product. So do that. Bring out that, hey, the whatever patch. Hey, here's Feng Mao. All right, we all test Feng Mao for a week. All right, now there's, all right, we got to make these changes real quick. Nothing crazy, just more balancing in a sense, or take some bugs out. Here we go. Now let's do free to play weekend.
Do we know if they've updated the welcome screen? I guess, I suppose, like when you first log in and you got to create an account and all that. Like, has anybody been to like those pages in a while? Out of curiosity,
I haven't.
But I haven't been there since I made my first account, like my only account, way back when. But
this time there wasn't even welcome; it was just a blank screen.
I feel like on the page where you create your account, they should have it right there, like, hey, Fault is a early access game. You may run into bugs, you may run into issues. Please report them here. All the feedback possible, blah blah blah. It'll help us improve our game, etc. But just like have it big and bold and in their fucking face whenever they're typing in that username or creating the account or whatever, right? At least at some point.
You usually get that message on Steam. Like that's a Steam generated message that lets you know. Anytime you buy into an early access game on Steam, it gives you that message.
You can have that message. I've seen it in games before the title of the game even comes up, before you get a chance to log in. When you open it and it has all the companies that are involved in the game.
That's how a lot of games used to do it.
This is a development game. This is what you can do to improve the game, report bugs and issues.
Yeah, I mean, like Goose said, maybe that's something that is being said, at least on the Steam side, right? I really still think that individuals are coming into Fault not realizing, like Bearded just said, that they low-key are paid testers, not realizing that they're coming into a likely buggy environment to help remove all those bugs and improve the game. I feel like a lot of people are coming in expecting the game to already be at a polished state.
I think that's somewhat on the people who paid the $20 to $10 for the actual game. But when they're doing a free to play weekend and you're coming in, you've never played the game before, and you just signed up for you just want to do the free to play side of it. That is not on them to come in as testers, whether it be early access or not. When you're doing a free to play weekend as a marketing advertisement for your game, that'd be like me coming over like, hey, I hold, cooking every week at my place to help people learn how to cook. Right. But then we do an event happening. Hey, come on over. And now I'm expecting, all right, well, now you got to cook your own meal though. I know it was an event, but you got to, you didn't know you had to cook? That's too bad. You got to do it. No, yeah, it wouldn't be the right thing. They're coming over to enjoy the meals. They're not coming here to.
That's a good analogy. But I'm going to improve upon your analogy a little bit.
That's fine.
It'd be like you're teaching these people to cook, and you're teaching them to cook fried chicken. Teaching them to cook, and they've perfected fried chicken. Then when you have everybody over, you're like, they're all going to make ravioli. They're going to make ravioli for you. Then they have no fucking idea what they're doing. Like that's what the free weekends have seemed like. Yeah. Like we all eat this good ass fried chicken until it's fucking free weekend time, and then all of a sudden everything falls apart. It's like, what the shit happened?
And then you cook that ravioli just like fried chicken.
What's that?
You cook that ravioli just like fried chicken.
You deep fry the ravioli.
Chill, bro.
That sounds delicious.
But you were going to say it's embarrassing?
It's embarrassing as a creator whenever you tell people, hey, Fault is really good now. You guys should check it out. They have a free weekend, and then they can't play it because they got frame drops and shit. It's like, God damn it. It's like, I was just talking you guys up, man.
Right.
It's like I just set you up on a date with my best friend, and then he was a complete asshole,
Hey man, sometimes that shit happens. Like I've done that. Like I gotta say, like sometimes shit goes out. I was like, he was a dick. I was like, he's nice to me. I don't know what the fuck happened. My bad.
I can't believe Mangoose called me his best friend.
I can't with him, bro.
I'm saying I'm the asshole.
Oh, but I do want to let's talk about something that Strange Matter has been doing, and that's actually doing. They've actually been shouting out content a little bit more often recently. And the first one,
to your own horn, Windu.
Negative. I was gonna skip right over me and go right into Black Tim's, my friend.
Skip it, but no. Let's talk about this.
Nah.
Windu.
Nah.
Portion. The interview portion.
Get interviewed.
Anyway, I'm talking about Black Tim's first. Y'all can go to hell. So check it out. So they posted on Twitter. Community member Black Tim's fault. Takes it back to the basics with this tutorial aimed at new players looking to learn mid lane specifically, right? Like drafting aspects, items, and much more. I saw the video. It was a very, very good video. So if you guys want to check it out, please go follow Black Tim's on YouTube. I'll make sure that link is below. But I like the fact that they're like, hey, our community has created or is creating proper, learning content, like tutorial content and stuff. Why don't we just let them make all those videos and stuff and share their videos? Which I'm A-okay with as far as like tutorial videos and stuff like that, because I much rather see a tutorial video by a content creator and then just see an actual, like I get to play tutorial out of Strange Matter, Like I don't necessarily need to see a tutorial video out of Strange Matter. But I do like the fact that they're shutting out.
They should have been doing this. They should have been doing this a while ago, and they should still be doing it. Like, you have the how-to lane video. There's people literally asking in Gen Chat, "Hey, does anybody know if there's a laning video or whatever?" And I seen somebody say, "No, not right now," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Hold up. Here's a link, and I'll drop your link for you." I mean, other people should be knowing this as well. Like, that's something that's going on there. Like,
bro, what is he singing at right now? I'm so sorry. Hold on. What the fuck is he singing at? Do you hear that?
I heard him singing something. I don't know what it's.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And even though it's an older video, I mean, I don't know when you created it. It was back on the older map, older style. Maybe the same map. Generally.
He's jamming the fuck out. Hold on.
That's his coffee.
All right, he's muted for a bit just so we can talk for the video. Let me know when he gets back.
But then they, even though your video is older, it's still relevant. It still works with how the game plays. So to even reuse that, hey, repost that tweet, or retweet or tweet it out now, and then 5 months from now, retweet it again just before free to play weekend or whatever, so people can see how to play it. It's great. He's back. You gonna unmute him now?
Oh, okay. I asked him. It won't automatically unmute. I have to ask him to unmute. He has to accept it. There he goes.
There. But I was trying to explain what I was saying. You were singing.
And you were singing.
Yeah, I was singing Behind Blue Eyes. You know who covered that? Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
Is that your coffee pouring music? That's what you sing when you pour coffee?
This isn't coffee, brother.
No coffee. But no, I like the fact that they're highlighting community members' content as far as tutorials and stuff like that. I really would like to see these in-game under the Learn tab, like under the Learn tab, just have a separate section is like, yo, I don't know, YouTube videos or content, or what would be a good name for that? I don't even fucking know. Tutorial video, just tutorials, maybe.
Yeah.
But that would lessons even, yeah, maybe, and that maybe have a direct link in there to the Discord Academy tab and just takes them right into it. But yeah, I mean, I like the fact that they're doing this. I really think that something else needs to be done here. I can't put my finger on quite what it should be, but something else needs to be done with all these tutorial videos and stuff, or like around this area before the game goes full release. Like, how do you think they could actually make, like, do even better than just sharing somebody else's video?
If it's not too hard, put it in the game. A tutorial video just like this one, but in the game, a tab for the game, for them to watch during queue times or whatever it is.
I wonder if that'll be difficult to do.
Yeah, that's why I said if it's not difficult.
I think it has to be a pop out. Like, there's other games that do that. It's usually a pop out that'll play the video.
Well, they could easily set it up as like they can create their own YouTube playlist and have a pop out. Like, they just press a button and a YouTube playlist opens, right? And then whenever they add a new video, it automatically populates to the YouTube playlist. You know what I mean? And that's just their own playlist that only people with that link access.
What about, for example, Smite? When you look at the hero abilities,
You mean
click on
like a little video and when you hit play and stuff?
Yeah. So you have each link of each hero and just press play on the actual tab without popping out anything, without throwing them off the game, without muting their queue time so they don't know when they're queued.
See, I like that. I don't think they need that before early access, but I really like that in Smite, actually. The fact that you get to go in there, let's say, Morgesh right click. You would hit the play button in the learn menu and then a quick little 10-second clip of Morgesh using her right click to kind of illustrate, like have an idea of what the abilities do, what they look like, how they are before they go in the game.
I love that. That was something that that Genesis did when I was playing Genesis. They would, when they release a hero, they would show you have a little video of just how each ability worked. Because when I first played Morgesh, I thought she was melee. And I ran up to somebody and I like, oh, wait a minute, let me stand back. I don't need to be that close. I'm like, I can throw this.
They didn't make a big deal about her being close range.
So I'm like, all right, I don't have to be that close. That's, but if I would have seen something, I would have known that, whatever. Like, so always being able to see what the ability does and how it works is better than going in blind and be like, all right, let me hit this button and see what this ability does,
Visually, it'd be great because the two more, I wouldn't say confusing heroes right now we have at fault. One is Grim and one is possibly Boris. Like if Grim had a video of the abilities that he has, it would have been easier. Just like Boris is too. Sometimes people go into game and they say, hey, when you click E, what happens on Boris? And you're explaining it. Or when you read the instructions, that video would help out a lot.
Yeah, Boris Q is difficult to understand even for people that have been playing the game for a while.
Yeah.
Like all the different, like, it depends if you have one canister but if you have all four, then it's a different effect. Like, what the fuck?
Well, his Q is a sniff, and people often seem to think that it's going to auto sniff whoever's lowest. No, it's whoever's closest, brother. You see people get that confused a lot.
True. Now,
a cool thing that I would like to see, I suggested this for Ethereal for their game. You saw this in World of Warcraft when you first start up. You get these pop-ups, but they don't, like, maybe when you're approaching gold buff, you get a pop-up on your screen, little pop-up, little
like hints
text box that tells you, like a little hint. You can turn these on or off. Like if you can turn them off after your
your first match or whatever. Like if you don't want them on,
you don't need them. Yeah, you don't want them on. You just turn them off. But like you just have them on there at the beginning, just like tells you what gold buff does, tells you when it spawns, or you come up to green buff and it pops up, or you come into a lane and it pops up and lets you know you need to last hit this minion. Just little hints and tips and tricks. Just very small little tips like that would be nice. And then, of course, be able to turn that shit off because we don't want a repeat of the arrows going to lane for 10 fucking minutes. But
right. The funny part is that I still get people asking me, "Oh, which lane do I go to?" Just follow the arrow until it disappears. Just go to the direction it's pointing.
For the next 10 minutes, follow those arrows.
Hey man, sometimes people get sidetracked. It's like, hey, still got a leash, bro. What are you doing?
We should have those fog walls just come up for the first 10 minutes to make them go to the lane that they have to.
Yeah, no.
Tunnel vision.
That's what he's saying. Just tunnel vision the fuck out of him. But no. Now, just to throw it out there, because I really do want to just glance over this real quick. They did also so they are starting to do their community showcases more frequently. It just so happens this week it was about me. I'm not going to go into it. If y'all want to read that, y'all can go to playfall.com and read that whole interview with me and whatnot. But I
geographic about fault.
I can't with you, bro. Jesus.
Why don't we go over that? You can read your part and I'll read Ryan Red's part, and
negative.
We'll reenact the interview.
Negative. You can get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here with that. No. But I do like that they're doing these again. Quite frankly, like we know that What was it? The last one that we went over was with Mitch. That was cool to see, right? All the content and, just kind of a deeper dive into a community member while also kind of promoting them a little bit. So cool to see, right? I do encourage that they do this maybe a little bit more frequently. You feel me? Because especially the way that these all are, it's like question format. They just got to update the website every once in a while and put a new person up there. I would be okay if there was like a new person every week just highlighting, or would that be too much? Like, is there not enough people to highlight? Like if you do it once a week or something? What do you guys think would be a good time frame on this? Let me actually ask you.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we would have to find out once we get to the point of, hey, we're starting to run out of people. That would be then we would know if it was too, if once a week was too much. I don't like at the point, like, and what are we highlighting? Are we highlighting just the content creators? Like what? I mean, Mitch wasn't a content creator in that situation. I guess it's just content.
Yeah, an artist. Yeah,
it was more art. But so it all depends. Like, so I don't know. I think
Aimless is saying bi-weekly, maybe.
You have a pool of people you can definitely pull from, and hopefully that pool is going to get bigger as we go on. But I don't know. Yeah, bi-weekly would be a good start. And if you start to see that pool dwindling pretty fast, you could,
make adjustments from there.
Yeah.
I just hope they change up the questions a little bit. They don't have to like deep dive like Sean Evans on Highlands or some shit like that, but a little more deeply personal, not deeply personal, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's more about them.
The individual, a little more catered to the individual. Yeah, that's what I'm really trying to say. Deeply personal. When did you lose your virginity?
I can't with you, bro.
It wasn't deeply, believe me.
It was yesterday. That's why it's different, Balix.
I called my mom and told her.
Look different. I got a big smile on my face. I think, and Huddy said this, so I won't take the credit for it, but I think they should go more of a video feel for it and add it to their YouTube as well. It doesn't have to be a super, hour and a half long video, interview. It could literally be just a 10-minute interview, and then post it to their YouTube and then they can post that link to all of their other socials and people can kind of go watch that stuff to get to know their content creators. And it's a little easier to get to know somebody if you have visual recognition of that person. Like right now, according to what you just had up there, all right, this guy did a Fang Mao video. That's all I know. I don't know anything about that guy. So and I read it, like, okay, why, I don't get it. Who is this guy? Why has he got a Fang Mao video? It doesn't, you get to know the person a little better more, if you actually visually get to see them, like, okay.
I mean, that would work for me, but like you guys, like, I don't think y'all want to show your faces.
Wow. Bro, you better hide those head muscles when you talk to me. Shit.
I'm flexing right now.
He said, look at my vein.
I think that's a great idea. If they bring in like a fall corner every 2 weeks or whatever, and not just content creators too, people that actually are working on the game, maybe from the arts department, the map department, and you sit them down, like, remember how Paragon did it? I don't know what they called it.
Their community corner.
The community, yeah. Just have that. I think it'd be amazing to see everybody on there one by one.
I mean, we basically are the community corner right now, or the closest thing to it. Just keep on bringing in just like individuals from the community, team members, mods, going over all the shit.
Socks on my hands and piss everybody off real quick.
We already got a guy called Sod.
Name?
You talking about from the community corners? Yeah, I don't know their names, bro.
Forget the guy's name.
I know who you're talking about, the skinny one, bro.
You would know their names.
Sometimes you want to go. No. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, they do some community corners and stuff, but not with content creators and such. Another thing with the community corners that Epic did is Epic had like their brick and mortar establishment that they would bring people into and like test the game there and like do their interviews right there. like side by side. They couldn't do that. They would have to do something like we're doing right now via Skype.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
2020.
we're kind of doing it right now.
Yeah, we're basically doing it at this point. You were gonna say something?
No, I was saying again, like this. It also, like Bearded said, people get to know you. They see the content creators. They see right now those individuals that were able to go onto that page and read your interview got to know who WinduTheMace was. What about the rest of the partners? You know what I mean? It's a good idea. I think not everybody goes onto the website to look at stuff.
True. And we did see on here also that on March 9th, 2 days ago, they posted that they're hiring. They're looking for individuals to join the fall team, marketing manager, level artist, UI programmer, and then gameplay programmer. And then along with the link there, I'll put it up on the screen. Is that like in direct correlation to what we said last week? It's like, hey man, I want to see them actively be like, hey, we need people. Like, hey, the spot hasn't been filled in a year. Keep fucking searching, bruh. So I like the fact that they're actually, posting about it. I mean, 5 retweets, 2 quoted tweets, 22 likes. It's got some engagement. I wonder how it did on other social medias as well. But I like to actually see them just throw it back out there. I think that post of like, hey, looking to join the team, these are some positions we got available. They should probably do at least once a month. Just randomly throw it sometime throughout the month to remind people, hey, we have a position in vacancy, or a vacant position. Is that how you say it? Oh, I don't know my English.
Yeah. And then also maybe once a month or once a position gets filled, reposting, to show that position's no longer on that. Like, or let's say,
but there are other ones maybe.
Yeah. UI programmer is now filled. That one's taken off. So you see when there was 4, now there's only 3, you can kind of see that it's
Do a little welcome message whenever they do hire somebody too. That'd be nice.
Yep.
Hey, welcome to our new marketing manager, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure we'd see a welcome message for that. But
well, we used to see it in the blog post that they stopped doing. Those blog posts were all like, hey, we just added these 2 people to the team. Here's a little bit about them. Those were kind of cool. Haven't necessarily heard about anything like that in a while. I don't know. It's because maybe they haven't hired anybody in a little bit, or maybe they just decided to stop posting about it, keep it internal, Something they could do, they could introduce, I mean, we all know him as a mod and as a staff support, but they could introduce Armadillo as a dev, and the reason, here's our latest dev, and and why, whatever, and what his job, what they're gonna do,
stuff like that, That one kind of went to the wayside. We all know him. We all saw him in Gen Chat, like, oh shit, your name code changed. Congratulations. But like there really isn't like what's going on. Some people do know because they asked and he said something or whatever. But like an actual like official post.
Probably wrote with you. He's a homie. I still don't 100% know what he does.
Yeah, I agree.
Like low-key. Like for example, like there's individuals in the company like
proven.
Yeah, there's individuals like Espada, Balix, Armadillo. I could go on where you're like, hey, what exactly do you do? Like, there's a lot of names that I just have no idea what you fucking do. It's not like on their website they have this is our team, this is what we do. They should probably do that though. Like, shouldn't they? Like, isn't that kind of normal though?
I would think so.
Like having about the team.
It's definitely important to introduce the team and get them. Get the community to understand the hard work behind all of this. You know what I mean? It's very important because we don't see what happens in the background. We don't see what these guys go through on a daily basis, and they deserve to be under the spotlight. Whether you do it weekly, whether you bring them all in, or you do it by department, meaning the art department, marketing department, and so on and so forth. I agree with that. I agree 100%.
Yeah, even just having them on the website, like in the about area, right? Even just having them listed there is like, hey, creative director, this person, marketing manager, this person, community manager, this person. Do a simple title and names so people could actually be like, oh, that's what that person is. Okay. All right. Just somewhere to see it.
If I go to Discord now, I look over, I see all the devs. I don't know what they all do. I don't know I mean, I know Espada.
Right.
I've seen Espada climb through the ranks, so I know what Espada does.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, the rest of them, I couldn't tell you what they are.
And I only see Armadillo because he kicks my ass in the game. So that's how I know.
Armadillo plays? I've never seen him. JK.
Not well.
I'm just trolling.
Play.
Oh, not
Oof.
Oof. I can just throw it out there.
Poor Armadillo, man.
He doesn't even use Traveler's Augment.
What a guy.
I think one of the things they need to do before they do go like full fucking Bankai with this shit is I like their item art. It's cool. Like it's well done, but I think they need more professional looking item art before they really release to the masses. I think they should have an option to use the current item art. Like if you want to use the original art or something, that would be a neat thing to do. But I see that complaint a lot. A lot of people complain about their item art. And if you do look at it, it does look a bit cartoony.
What?
I think,
but isn't that what they're going for though? Like, because they've always gone for. So at first it was more of a 2D drawings, right? Cartoony, and then from there it went into more 3D version of those pictures, but still overall the same art style. Just a more of a 3D image.
I know this is a fault. This is a fault partner panel, but I now, Mangus, I got to ask you, what are your opinions on Predecessor's item art?
it's cartoony as well.
Okay.
Well, what do you think people are looking for? Like actual,
Something
almost like a 3D asset?
See,
a
I
little
think
more Paragony.
Oh, so you're talking about just full on, super dope card art. Like every item is like a different.
Well, no, not
art
even
painting.
the original card art was super dope card art.
Not the original
The
one.
Rift Hunter just looked like a fucking spear. But it didn't look cartoony. It looked, I don't know, looked like they fit with the rest of the aesthetic of the game.
okay.
But are you talking only in game or when you were outside the game picking the cards and
No, he's talking in general. Well,
So the reason I ask is because I think, especially between Fault and Predecessor, I think Fault's art is hand over fist destroys Predecessors. I think Predecessor's item art looks like something that I played on PS2. Like if I went and played Boulder's Gate, I would be looking at the same art that I played on my PlayStation 2 that I'm looking at when I'm looking at Predecessor. So I was like, when you said that, I'm like, huh? I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about the item art in that regard. But
People were talking about it last week in the partner panel while we were going over stuff.
I think what Magus means, because if you compare Predecessor's visuals too, it's cartoony compared to Fault. Fault's like the map, everything, and maybe when Magus was talking about having all of that uniform, is that what you meant?
No, not really.
Matches the game.
Not really.
No,
I just think it just needs to be less cartoony.
so
because I'm a little confused, like Bearded is. Because
let me ask something.
Predecessor completely.
I don't know why Predecessor keeps getting brought into this. Their artwork sucks as well. I shouldn't say False artwork sucks. They got good artwork. It looks like it's hand drawn. It doesn't look like it's video game artwork.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Well, I guess the argument could be brought up also of the synergy amongst all the items, Like, for example, in Fault, every damage item is a sword or a gun, which is pretty typical. But if you sit here and have every single, let's say the legendary items, the finish items that have colors, right? If you sit here and put them all side by side in a grid, there is, I see what you mean, that there isn't an official theme or cohesiveness as to everything. Whenever it comes down to it, it literally just looks like they're all well drawn items, but they're all just
But they do look
doing their own. They're all doing their own thing.
Saying, let's look at some of Paragon's old cards. Paragon, let's go.
I posted some in our post. I mean, is that what we're talking about? The picture I posted in our for
Our
DM
Discord call.
Yeah,
I mean Discord thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Paragon items. That was OG Paragon items.
yeah.
Like if you look at those, I will say there's a certain synergy across all of them. Like you can tell those are all from the same game. Does that make sense when I say that? And here, I'll pull it up on the screen for everybody.
I'm starting to understand what you guys mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess I disagree. I don't see. I mean, I can see these. Yes, these you could. This looks like it's a Magic the Gathering card deck. That's what it looks like to me, and they all look like go together on the same deck. I get that, right? I understand, but like, so we just really got to change how the items are put on more of a card look like, to make it look like that. I guess I would say, but
I think it's more of the item border, maybe.
The adamant, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, give it more of a card look. The adamant edge, I think that looks very close to or similar to the Phantom Blade. Like, I don't see anything about this that's like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than false item art.
Yeah, I don't disagree that the actual art or art style doesn't look too different, because even these have like a hand drawn look to them, right? But I will say, like, that card border, the synergy between all the different card borders and everything. Yeah, I don't know. That card border looks good.
A matte finish and a glossy finish on a photo is the way I see it. Paragon had a matte finish. Fault has a glossy finish. And it's something I've seen other people complain about. And they were, like I said, they were complaining. People brought it up in the last partner panel as well.
I don't know. This is, if this, well, like I said, I know I don't know why I bring it up. I bring it up because the fact that I think this is something that I don't think is that really well needed. I think false items art is really well, in my opinion. And this is a conversation. If this was a predecessor partner panel or whatever you want to call it, that I would completely agree with everybody. Everything was just said, like, yes, please change the item art, because it does not, I don't like it, but false item art, I like it. I mean, I could maybe, if you want to fine tune some things, if you want to take the glossy finish off, they give more of a matte finish, I don't care, but the art itself is great. I don't, shiny or not shiny. I don't know. Like you got people who prefer matte black cars, and you got people that prefer a glossy finish car. I don't like, to me, that's just.
I was about to say that. Like, I guess it also really comes down to the difference in what people expect, right? Because like in this first picture that I'm showing up on the screen, it's a little bit blurry, so I do apologize for that. But there is a certain look that you can see, and there's certain cohesion throughout all the cards. And then the moment that we go into Fault, I definitely think that the art, I do think that the art is better as a whole, the actual art itself, but maybe it's the whole color coding system that makes it look off, right?
Background colors, yeah.
Because you know how there's like red cards, blue cards, green cards, etc. And when you're just looking at the cluster of items, you don't necessarily see that synergy in that way.
Right. But
if they had these, like, let me see.
If you pull up the Paragon ones up real quick, if you look at it, like the sword itself, all those items, like the main items, they have this design behind them, this circle, whatever it might be. It might be they're all a little different. Like the Goran scepter has like this sun design behind it, that kind of gives it the foreground look to it. It's got a background to it. But if you look at Fault's backgrounds, it's really, there's a lot going on there. And if you
true, and most of
take that,
it's mostly fog if you look at it actually in the background.
There's a lot of outer glow.
Yes.
Yep. So if you take that, take it away and not have it have that background and give it almost like a black background and maybe that a blue border to let you know that, hey, this is for mid lane or whatever. This is for your mages, and let the item art itself just stand out, for itself, and don't give it all that. Because you go to crossbow, GD crossbow, and look at that red background. Now that we're bringing this out, we're really digging deep to it. If you look at it, it kind of just looks a little messy.
Yeah, I will say, looking at it now, just like across the board, there really is a lot of black background blur, Like maybe that could be it. But what if they just simplify it as far as leave the cool looking item, right? And then just have like a red border on it. Because it's like, for example, it's already a red boot, a red cloak, a red crossbow. Like you could decipher it, right? But maybe just put a border instead of all that glow, because it really does look very, very busy. Not wrong.
Yeah, too much outer glow. Too much outer glow makes it look cartoony.
And then you have, put that border around it, and then maybe you could do something to if you looked at the Paragon ones, they have those numbers next to them, which I know they were a little bit different, but you could have.
Yeah, that was the cost.
You could have something that kind of deciphers, let it it's a tier 1 item, it's a tier 2 item, it's a finished tier item.
Well, if we're talking about the same aesthetic, imagine they just have like a little corner area like that for something. They literally could just leave it without a number and just have the color code in that corner.
Right. Yeah.
Like literally just go into like photosynthetic symbiote or like ring of rejuvenation, and instead of having all this glow in the background, just like the tiniest little green corner. Like it's a color code, That way, from a glance, any individual could just look at it real quick and be like, bam, I can tell what item that is just based off of that little corner right there.
Yep.
Which I'll try to give you guys an example here real quick. But this is an interesting conversation, because I will say I haven't really looked at these items and ever thought like, hey, something feels off. I just been rolling with the punches, Now, have you guys heard, like, is it like common for you guys to hear that like something is wrong or like something feels off about them?
I've heard it a few times, people complaining about the item art looking a little too cartoony, and the avatars looking, the selection of avatars being too cartoonish. Like people want, like, I like the avatars too, but I would like to have like other avatars as well that are a little less cartoony.
The avatar names even have tune in them, so it literally is, it's meant to be that way. But like to have, I think that just, you can have that group if you want, like you can have it break it down avatars and have a section like, all right, here's a cartooning, hit that little thing. And it's like, well, all right, here's all the cartoon avatars. All right, here's all the Fault logo avatars. All right, here's this, and then you can have it separate up, and then, have more of a realistic Murdock all the characters. Here's a realistic picture of Murdock or whatever that you can have as your avatar now and stuff like that. I think
so. If you guys
shows more for them.
If you guys look at the stream real quick, how would you guys feel if they removed the background glow of all the items, keep them simplistic, and just put like a little triangle in the corner that represents the color of the item?
Yeah, I think it would be good.
Yeah,
and instead of a stark black too, I would like a slate gray, like we see with the.
Yeah, like something to provide just like contrast, but not just straight up black background.
Yep.
Because if you start going into those, if you go to the offense tab window and you start picking each tab on its own or each category on its own, I can start seeing what Mangoose it means. When you go to physical power or you go to the legendary items, the color difference, there's a lot of color difference. There's nothing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Yeah, like the color system is kind of cool, but it almost is it me or does it still feel weird when you don't build all one color?
Yeah, it does.
It does feel weird.
Like regardless if it doesn't affect you anymore if you build a different color, but like just looking at that bottom right corner and seeing 5 red items and 1 purple one, it fucking kills my OCD, bro. Like, I'm like, it just looks weird, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I've been recently messing with Grim and trying to, give him like a hybrid build or whatever. And it's just weird. And like, I don't mean like I'll get to a point like, all right, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to build Mega Siphon first. I'm going to go the blue bow, right? Not Mega Siphon. That's not the bow. That is the bow, right? Mega Siphon?
No, you're talking about Mega's crossbow.
Siphon is the Kool-Aid twist.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's what that is. I don't have that over here anymore. So Mega's crossbow, I would build that one first, but then I would start building GD crossbow just because that's just my habit. I'm like, all right, building red because that's just me as an ADC, and then just like, oh shit, I'm building blue now. So it is weird, definitely.
So the color,
I think that's everything that would do it for me is if they would just remove the outer glow. I think they're really well drawn. I just think that makes them look cartoony to me.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying because we've had similar conversations about thumbnails in the past, right? Like there's certain little things that if you just apply a small amount, it's classy. The moment you apply a little bit too much, it just has an off-putting feeling to it that you can't really just put a finger on it. But when you look at it overall, it's like, hey, I don't know, looks a little weird to me. And I will say, like, I really, really wish that they showed how good these items look in the game, maybe even on the Learn tab or something, or even here on the website, because unless you have like a high quality version of these pictures, you would never know. Like I'll use Boots of the Hunt, for example. I got it here on the screen. I'm going to try and pull up like the high definition one that I got. But Boots of the Hunt, that's about the size, if not smaller, that you always see it in the game, what you're seeing on the screen, right? But when you actually sit here and you're like, yo, let me open up Boots of the Hunt, that Boots of the Hunt looks beautiful when you actually get to see the full details.
Oh, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
Like if you actually...
That without all the red.
It'd be a red boot. But I really... I don't know. Is there a way? Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's any way that they might be able to actually show off the item art? Because this looks way better. And it's the same exact picture. But the bigger image looks way better, way higher quality than this right here, just chilling in the corner.
It doesn't translate well, does it?
Yeah, it's like you lose so much detail when you have it smaller. So is it one of those things that maybe they should have like where the items are on the bottom right corner of the gameplay? Should they have that maybe a little bit bigger so you can see the item art a little bit better? Or maybe just a little zooming feature? Like, when you hit tab and you're going through the items and you can highlight them, right? What if you would be able to highlight it and like a pop out of the full art comes up or something?
Pop up full art where next to it with the description of what
with the description, yeah.
Because
like even right here on the website, I would be a-okay if they did this instead. Let me maybe do some ghetto shit here on the website to show you. But I would be a-okay if they literally had a high quality, like a very, very big picture on the side, and then right below it, Boots of the Hunt, because I highlighted it. You get me? Or like the moment I hit Bloodlust Saber, for example, bam. But now I want the bigger version. I don't have a high definition one of them. But you get what I'm saying. Like they, like, you see, like, look at Fire Cannon. How many people knew that Fire Cannon has a face on the hilt?
No idea.
Tell me that doesn't look cool.
Yeah, those look great.
I didn't even know it had that cool of a design on the barrels.
Yeah, like that shit looks dope. But when you see it in game or any other time, this is all you see. Like, I feel like the items are typically smaller, right? I honestly, looking at this comparison now, the smaller the item gets, the more I notice the shit around the item instead of the item itself.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Huh. I think I led us down a weird fucking rabbit hole. That
Yes, you did.
Yes,
Yes, you did. This is picky as shit. By all means, picky as shit. But yeah, I mean, it's decent feedback because it does affect the impression that people get out of the game. You feel me?
Yeah, you want to present a professional product to people.
See, now this one, this fire cannon, the outside of it, all that extra background that it's got going on doesn't fit. But now zoom out of this or whatever, go to the Phantom Blade and look at Phantom Blade. Everything fits there. It gives you that purple smoke, like eerie phantom, it's to the right there.
I have a high definition version of that one too.
I don't know if do you? Okay.
Yeah, and this is another one that, again, like the detail of the blade, like I get it. Like maybe having a little miss because it's called Phantom Blade. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But even then, there's so much, like there's purple crackling in the background, what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right? Like there really is a lot in the background that kind of like, it almost takes away from how good of an art item this is.
Yeah, it does. It's a case of just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And they had this artwork, now that I'm looking at it up close and big like this, is really beautifully done. And it actually doesn't look cartoony at all, like up close.
There's a lot of detail. Even just like the shading of the hilt and everything.
Outer glow that they gave everything looks cartoony.
Yeah, maybe it has more to do with the size, like Odo's saying. Because like if this artwork were bigger, and I'll bring up like monolith size cards, right? If this artwork were definitely substantially bigger, and it were just like on the corner of your screen, and you would see nice big artwork, it would do it justice, right? But it's almost like there's too much. There's something off. There's a huge amount of detail that looks amazing that just isn't noticed because of how small they have these items in game.
Yeah.
Because even when I put these two pictures of Phantom Blade side by side, one of them looks way higher quality than the other. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Very similar size, but on the right side, that shit looks crispy.
I really think that, like Fate's Gunblade, I think looks pretty damn good because it doesn't have a huge amount of glow around it. Demon Sword has a faint glow around it, and I think Demon Sword looks really good.
Do you have a high definition one of Fate's Gunblade?
But like Doomsbringer rifle,
Fate's Gunblade, I do not.
Infernal Gunblade, I don't like that.
I would love to, just because he gave a good assessment of Fate's Gunblade as it is. I would love to see like that high definition version of it.
Let me show you Titan Slayer.
No, actually, it's not as good as I thought it was.
Show you Titan Slayer side by side here.
It's a Revenant rifle.
See now, Titan Slayer does look cartoony to me.
Well, there's a general aesthetic to all these items. That's why, I don't necessarily mind the cartoony feel, but I do feel that the cohesion between all the items is thrown off a little bit by that background since we went on it, right? But yeah, man.
I'm looking at this one, and this one actually, out of all of them we looked at, this one is just straight cartoony. You look at Tyke's fire cannon and how great it looks, and this just is like that one. No.
I'll keep on trying to pull some up. I don't have high definition of all of them, unfortunately.
Right. And no, I mean, that's fine. But that's, yeah, that one out of all of them, that one I could see that one needed to get changed to, a cartoon side of it. Like the rest of them, like that Phantom Blade looks great. Like, I don't think it literally looks all cartoony. I mean, I'm not saying it looks realistic, but it doesn't look like a 90s cartoon that I'm watching. It looks more like a nice upgraded graphics cartoon.
Aimless just brought up an interesting point. Sorry that you're in that situation, Aimless. But he just brought up an interesting point. Not everybody gets to play the game at epic settings. For a lot of people, if they saw that picture that we just showed them, that's the most detailed in the art that they've actually seen. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's actually very, very different. Like, a lot of people might not realize that there's that much detail into the art. So people might play the game and be like, yo, I don't like the art.
Afford an OLED screen, okay? It's just like,
He's saying get an OLED.
OLED, yeah. You guys got the OLED yet? Like, no. Like, I can't afford an OLED screen. Like,
Shoot, I'm not gonna get that shit like ever. Probably, I'm gonna be real with you. Good luck. But so interesting rabbit hole that we went down, right? But it definitely, I don't know. Maybe that's something that they could look into, because that is the art department. That's something totally separate, right? Maybe that's something that they could look into. Try to actually just turn down that glow. Look for an alternative method to still showing the color besides just covering the background with a glow, right?
now you say that's the art department, something totally different or separate. But there's art all over the game. So like, I know there's different, but what is the difference there? You know, you go into a game and all of this is art, you know, it's a design. They design the map, you know, and stuff like going on. Like, it's not just item art, but this actual map art and stuff like that going on. Like, is that a completely different team? Is that a completely going on there?
So if I'm not mistaken, the map and those creating the map and dealing with the textures on the map and everything, that's a totally different person than somebody doing like the avatars or the item art and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Because even though they could both be considered as different forms of art, it's like totally different engines, different textures and stuff that they got to do, like very, very different, right? But I will say at the end of the day, it probably would make a more impactful difference. Pi saying in the chat, it doesn't matter if the icons look good. Very few items, no active items like fireball or speed up shoes and stuff. So there are active items, like the speed up shoe that you're talking about, like just speeding up your movement is probably one of Mangus's favorite fucking items. He won't stop fucking talking about it. Like he can give himself and everybody around him extra movement speed with an active. I will say though, like I've spoken specifically to Strange Matters about their items, and every single item has a passive or an active. Every single completed item. You won't see a finished item that does not have an active or passive. So they're there. I mean, I will say there aren't that many active items in some of the trees. Like the red cards, we don't have that many active items in red items. Maybe like 8 adrenaline shot, right? Or blue items, there aren't that many active items. Most of those active items, Bloodlust Saber.
Yep.
Yeah, with the dash. Yep.
You got the dash on that one.
But just think of it like that. That's 2 active items within red.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yep.
Most of the active items are typically green or white?
White, almost all of them are active, yeah.
Most of them are white, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they could add more actives to, the rest of it. Add a little bit more diversity to it. To red, to blue.
Active blue ones?
Nirvana Jewel.
Okay.
And they all
did, so I don't know.
And of course the blink. They all
have the blink too. Right. So there's that, or the smite.
Technically, there's the red blink too. Then if you're going to every.
Yeah.
Is there a white blink?
That would just be the standard one that you don't upgrade. Maybe. Maybe that one's gray.
That would be Tiog.
Knight's Battle Plate is kind of greenish.
Yeah, Knight's Battle Plate is a green one that has an active. But I get what he's saying. Like in a lot of MOBAs too, like let's say for example League of Legends, a lot of MOBAs have a active card or like an aspect or somewhere along those lines that you can deal additional magic damage after you've dealt some magic damage. You get me? Like a fireball that you can throw. Paragon had it back in the day. You could aim and target and shoot the fireball to cause extra damage. Some of you might remember those cards.
Yep.
So I mean, I could see it. I don't doubt that they might add more items like that down the road.
Right. Emmerich, that's what I want to see.
Negative. You get that shit out of here, bro. Nobody needs to do that. Right, turning.
Is it the minions reverse, right?
Yes, bro. You got like 20 minions pushing. Awaken the Emmerich. Now get me out.
One thing I wish, that I'm kind of missing right now is a more aggressive energy armor item. Like you have Bale Arm for physical armor, but you don't really have anything like that for energy armor right now. Whereas in Paragon, you had components for both. You had Thorn Greenweave, which was your energy, and then you had something else for fucking physical. I forget what it was called.
What is the Thorn Shield now? Is that not a energy armor one?
Thorn Shield, no, is physical.
It's physical, okay.
You got some that are kind of a mix of both, like Knight's Battle Plate is a pleasant mixture of both.
Right.
Bot D, pleasant mixture of both, but you don't have any just straight energy armor items that you can be aggressive with.
No, there isn't. I do what U-Mantle used to be an energy armor, and not that it's an aggressive one, but yeah, I think it used to be strictly energy armor. Then they got changed or something like that. But they made some changes. I can't remember. I haven't played solely in it forever though to know what those items are anymore. But no, I think they do need some more energy armor items out there, just because some of those mid laners can just fucking melt you.
Red Clown brings up a good idea too. We need I think especially in-game potions, whenever you're at full build and you have nothing else to spend money on. Almost all MOBAs have some sort of in-game potions that you can buy. They're just kind of
like a late game potion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically they cost almost like a full item, basically like 2,000-3,000. But it'll be like a time buff. Like, hey, for the next 5 minutes, you get extra damage. Or for the next 5 minutes, you get extra armor. Like if you're ahead. You were saying, Bearded?
Yeah, I'm going to look it up. Somebody posted in the concept vault. Oh, right here. Power potion. Sorry. So there's a power potion and a strength potion. And it says for like 1,500 gold, you get a power potion. So, and it says not required an item slot as hero consumes immediately upon purchasing. And you, when you consume it, you gain 45 energy power permanently. Right. And then you have the strength potion. Strength potion is, again, 1,500 gold, not require item slot as hero consumes immediately upon purchasing. And then when you consume it, you gain 29 physical power permanently. And they're talking, this is more of a late game situation. Yeah. And for something like as you want to go, so you just kind of want to keep getting bigger. You can have, when you have all that money just sitting there doing nothing. Now, maybe that gold needs to be increased a little bit or whatever, however, but that's more of a balancing situation. But stuff like that would be cool.
Aimless, I like that idea. A favor converter. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just buy favor towards the end game?
That would be something cool too. Yeah.
That'd be spicy.
Those potions, that's Def 21 Shooter was the one that posted those in the concepts vault. But yeah, a favor converter, something that you can now, like after getting 5,000, whatever, you can, put that, or maybe less than that, whatever the number might be. 5,000 is a little expensive. I'm not sitting that much towards the end game. 1,500, you get a favor point or whatever it equals out to. What is a favor point equal to in a sense? I'm pretty sure there's a way to figure that out.
Oh no, I think 1,000 gold per favor in game would be fair.
Because that is late game.
Yeah. Because you don't want it to be to where you could just buy favor all you want to early game and just only build favor. But
right. So it could be something you could do. Like you have to have all 6 item slots filled or whatever, then to be able to have that, like have it be grayed out or whatever, until you have all 6 item slots filled or whatever, then you can start buying it or something like that.
Or just leave it available. I mean, people will do it. It may not be the most economically feasible thing to do to spend 1,000 gold on like 2 attack speed, but
true.
Because based off of what you said, Bearded, if I buy 6, for example, 6 potions or whatever, and I fill the slots, it's gonna unlock your favorite converter slot. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but then again, that's but that you're also you're wasting more money on all those potions, and then that's just you're inting in that. It's gonna stop those people. It's gonna really. It's really going to show you that, hey, this is mainly a late game situation. This is not like if you try to do it early game, you're just inting. So it's more of like a stopgap from, I think making it to where you can do that in early game, because you're just going to get the trolls that don't care. And I'm going to go into a game. I'm going to get somebody that's just going to troll and do that. And it's like, sweet, thanks for not helping you win this game. But if you make it to where they have to fill those 6 slots, then a little bit more. Yes, you can still do those, the potions or whatever, but a lot less chance you're going to see somebody do that than just throw it all into favor.
True.
Interesting. I don't know.
I do like the idea of buying favor, though. I do like that idea.
I mean, it'd be a cool way to still give them their originality. And because the whole time they've been trying to find a way to make favor unique, because that is what's separating their item system from the rest, right? The favor. So, I mean, it'd be cool because I'll be real with you. Even if it's 500 per favor, right? The fact that you would spend 2,000 gold to get, all right, what's the math here, right? Like you would get 4 extra power. You feel me? Like it would be not that bad. Or like, what is it? 8 attack speed or some shit like that. Like it would not be that bad, but it would give people something to do. But now I do want to go ahead and go into reading the patch notes real quick. And again, as usual, I'm just going to skim through these. These are the patch notes that just got announced this morning, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
I think
they went live at 1:30.
He was about to hit me with 1,300. Like, you better chill, bro.
That's because it was in the post. That's what it was labeled as. And I was getting ready to read it. I'm like, no, don't do that.
But yeah, so this just got announced today. We're gonna go through these, covering some bug fixes and a few changes that they made. I am gonna basically run through these. If you guys do want to comment, interrupt me, please. Try to make it as quick as possible. So they did do a sound effects rework on Quang. I don't know why they even felt like they needed to.
I think they're gonna do it on everybody.
Oh, you think so? Like they're just like an overhaul, slowly but surely.
Literally just gonna do, yeah. I think they have a sound guy now, and they're really gonna focus on making it their sound, their guy.
Okay, that makes sense. Upping up their game slowly but surely.
Yep.
Then as far as bug fixes on aspects, Ace fixed an issue with Ace causing healing bounty to not grant health. So apparently people weren't getting healed, right? Lamaho. On Magician, fixed an issue causing Magicians to not grant cooldown reduction. That's like the whole point of it, sad face, but that's been fixed. Opportunist fixed an issue with Opportunist not giving any ward trinket cooldown after destroying a ward. I didn't even know people still ran Opportunist.
Opportunist gave you that option. I literally had no clue it gave you the cooldown for that.
The fuck is Opportunist?
The one that you get extra damage when it's a 1v1. Then on top of that, for heroes on Countess, they fixed an issue allowing Countess to fly after spamming certain abilities together. I did see a clip of that. Yeah, I saw a clip of that. That shit was funny as hell.
Mangoose had a great edit with that one. Shout out to Mangoose.
Yeah, it was Ed's clip, right?
It was easy Ed.
Yeah.
Ed's clip, yep.
That shit was funny as hell, bro. Then as well, Chimera fixed an issue causing Chimera's Berserker Spirit to not activate Enhanced Cognition. Okay, so just like an issue in interaction, they fixed it there. Lieutenant Bellica, her command drone, her E, fixed an issue that was causing Bellica's drone to not target enemies that have left its area of effect and entered again. Oh, so people would exit the circle, then go back in and they weren't targeted. RIP. Okay, so good thing that's fixed. Then on item, purity of the Ancients, fixed an issue that the item not giving the intended movement speed. So now that's been fixed. Now you can get extra movement speed. Mangoose, there you go. Another movement speed item for you.
With your Tiag.
Yeah, hope you have fun going zoom, right?
Yeah. More gonna look like Sonic running around the map.
She already does, bro.
We're gonna by the time the ping goes out for Prime, he's already there.
Yeah, he already does that shit, bro. Welcome to Mangoose's life.
Change his name to Mazgoose.
Mazgoose, get me out.
Zoom.
I can't, bro. So then they did some balance changes on Beast Hunter. This is interesting. So they increased the total stacks on Beast Hunter to 200 total. So they doubled it, right? They increased, they split the energy power that you gain per stack in half. And then they split the physical power that you get also in half. So essentially, when you reach the end amount of stacks, you still get the exact same amount of converted power. The difference is it takes you longer to get to that final stage, right?
Right.
And then they have the health that you get as well. It's typical there. But one thing that I find interesting is jungle minions give you now 2 stacks instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, attacks and assists and all that still gives you the exact same amount of stacks, but it's almost like they're prioritizing, hey, if you farm your jungle, you will get more stacks than farming the lane, because Beast Hunter does work in the lane.
Yes, yeah. This is to help stop this being used by Murdocks and stuff like that. I mean, it's
by laners.
Yep, you're gonna.
But it's much more effective in the jungle.
You have to. It's going to take you longer, double the amount to get to it now to get what you need to get. And junglers will be able to get there a little faster.
Yeah, almost
faster than laners. They're still going to have to get there at a move speed.
It's like they did for the rogue aspect, like how it was like, hey, if a range hero uses this, it's 50% less damage. This is essentially their way of doing that to laners. Like if a jungler uses this, he can still scale pretty quickly. But if a laner uses this, they won't scale as quick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it. We'll see how it actually pans out and plays, right? They did make a change on Chimera. So his base health got increased by 10 to 580. And then his health per level got increased by 3. So now every level he gets 90, giving him a little bit more health throughout. So interesting to see. Then on his right mouse button, the base damage that he deals when he leaps on you now got increased, starting at 80 and going all the way up to 240. So now he's going to do quite a bit more damage with his right click. But and then on top of that, the physical power scaling on that right click got increased by 15% more. So now it's at 75% scaling. So that means that his most frequently used ability will also now do more damage. Maybe giving Chimera a little bit more of, output, so to speak, when he's just constantly leaping on people instead of just using it to catch up.
He needed some love, I think.
Yeah, he's been falling into a weird spot here lately. He used to run the jungle, but now it's kind of like he's in a lull. Like he's still the beginner friendly jungle, but there's other junglers that easily leave him behind. So seeing him get a little love is nice. We see on Muriel, base mana got reduced to 370 starting mana. Mana per level got reduced. Now you only get 50 mana each level. And then health per level also got reduced. Now it's only 75 health per level. So it looks like they overall nerfed Muriel's early sustain and her scaling sustain overall. Maybe it was just an issue that she was surviving a little bit too much. We'll see.
I think they just need a shield buster card. They don't need to nerf Muriel. They need a shield buster card.
Yeah, something that goes through shields, or like something that'll let you, like if there's a shield applied, you do true damage instead or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So interesting. Then Steel, I don't understand this one. His shield width got reduced from 1,800 units to 1,400 units. So apparently they thought that Steel's shield, when it was deployed or whatever, was too wide. I never thought that was a problem. I thought that, like, it's almost like, hey, you're nerfing one of the people that's already like the hardest to play, right? I don't understand that one. Maybe somebody can enlighten me.
Is this size the size of the entrance to Raptors and Prime? Like that framework?
No, the 1,400 units, that's about like the distance of a range auto attack.
Yeah, so it's like double the.
So
maybe not double the entrance to Prime, but
I will say after playing him support a few times, he's not in nearly as bad a position as I thought he was. He's actually quite good. I don't think this was warranted though.
Yeah, I don't think this was needed whatsoever at all. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe somebody out there was just being a menace with Steel and he just had to be stopped. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just because I think 1,800. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it's warranted or whatever, but I'm just saying like 1,800 units to be able to get around that and not be affected by the slow to it or whatever. You're going a little. You have to go quite a bit out of your way. 1,400 units. You don't have to go as far out of your way now to not be slowed by it. Other than that, what else is the? I don't. That's the only thing I can think of. That being what's going on, because like with Gadget, I have a clip where I think I have a clip somewhere. A Gadget was throwing her shit at me, but I was able to, just because I knew what it was going to be. Like, okay, I can dodge around that and still chase her down as a Murdock. But with a steel, that's quite a okay. Let me fucking run all the way around this thing, or I had to take that penalty and get that slow. This makes it a little more.
I think what this is causing is he still has a big enough shield to provide obstruction or the effect anywhere in the jungle, right?
Yep.
But now he can't block the entire lane.
Yep.
Because currently he can set that shit literally in front of the tower, and you have to walk through it. Like that shit's so big, there's no way to avoid it.
Yep.
So maybe that's what it is.
I get those steals. I'm sitting there trying to farm as an ADC, and I get those steals that throw that shield down right in front of the farm and stops me from my farm. I have to step around it, or I have to step through it. And right now to step around it, I'm putting myself way in a position just to step around it, because if my support doesn't go with me, then I'm out there by myself and, by that much, so it definitely can be a menace to go through that sometimes.
Menace. Shout out to Menace. All right. And then on items, a few changes. The aura that Almighty Gil now gives you got reduced to 12 damage per tick of instance applied. And if anybody out there doesn't remember, Almighty Gale is the jungle green item sword that got changed to have an effect just like Bill Arm. So it does a take of energy damage to everybody around you. Helps with jungle clear and stuff like that. So that got reduced a little bit.
It doesn't stack with Bail Armor though, does it? Or does it stack with Bail Armor?
No, you can't buy Bail Armor if you have Almighty Gale.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I believe it's a unique passive at that point. Then Arcane Amplify. This is an interesting change though. So
sorry, real quick. That's the first item they've done that with, right? The other items with the unique passives, you could still buy them, but you just wouldn't get the benefit of the unique passive twice. So correct. Is this the first item they've had it to where you can't even
it blocks it off?
Blocks an item out.
I want them to do that with all the perspective ones.
You can't buy the two guns either, the two armor piercing guns at the same time.
Like he's talking about the
he's about the Titan Slayer and
Doomsday
rifle.
Right.
Yeah, Doomsday rifle.
So I like that.
Both those? I thought you could buy both those. You just weren't getting the benefit.
No, you literally cannot buy both.
Okay.
So I don't mind that. Like just to help prevent individuals from building two items and thinking they're getting the effect right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Am I the only one that wishes that they also implemented like stop the new people from being able to buy the same item 3 times? Because you're not getting the effect, like you're losing.
Then you screw over like Dark Lee that wants to do weird shit.
I mean, fair enough, but like what is it? I saw in the matches that I played last night with my buddy that was new, I saw I think it was our support build 3 Sirens calls.
You gotta increase it by 20%, 20%, 20%, baby.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like I'm like, yo, yikes. Like, but I guess it was also my fault because as the carry, I didn't notice that my support was building that until it was too late. I was like, oh, I'm not even gonna say anything. She's already deep. Like it's already way too deep.
I don't think you can do that though. I mean, there are those instances like we're talking about, but Arcane Amplifier, there isn't another item that you can get 125 energy power, right off the rip like that. Yeah. Buying 2 of those is still good. Yeah, you're not getting the added passive to it, but that's 125 energy power you're getting. That's you're not inting at when you're doing that. That's a chunk of power.
It's still a decent amount. But I wouldn't be mad if you were able to restrict it, like only get it once. Now you have to actually think about what you're building, Yeah. But it's actually speaking about Arcane Amplifier, they did change it. So the energy power that you got reduced to 120 So, and as well, the energy power percentage increase went up to 35%. So overall, you're still getting the same amount of damage when you buy that one item, right? When you actually do the math, the percentage plus the flat amount that you get. But the difference is you get better scaling throughout, and less flat damage, which I think it makes more sense. 35% extra damage is a big chunk. That's a really big number. But it does make more sense to give it less flat stats and more of a unique stat. It helps counteract what we were just talking about right now, that people buy it just for the base stats, even if the passive doesn't stack.
Yeah.
But that is a very, very big mage item, and I can imagine extra 35%, extra 5% of all damage. That's gonna be a nice little chunk there towards the late game for all mages.
Mat limiter plus the mat limiter with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For mages, they'll be in a really, really good spot with all that. Now, we also see Demonic Embrace is getting a little bit of love, which I thought this was interesting because this is an item that I don't see people run frequently. And maybe this is why they're changing it. So the lifesteal on the passive, it's getting reduced. So now it'll only give you 30% lifesteal when beneath the threshold. The physical power from the passive also got reduced to 20, used to be 35. So that's a significant amount less physical power that you're gaining when that passive activates. The cooldown did get reduced. So now it procs every 15 seconds instead of every 30. So now you can proc that lifesteal and the damage twice as fast. The penetration that the item gave you got reduced. So now it's only 10. And then on top of that, the amount of gold that it costs you got reduced to 2,600. So not only do I think that they made it more viable because it's more frequent, but it's much, much cheaper. This is a pretty, if you're going into a carry build and you don't want to build much lifesteal, you want to focus more on the penalty damage. I could see carry builds building Demonic Embrace as their only lifesteal because every 15 seconds they're going to be able to get that passive as their only lifesteal that activates when they're below a certain threshold. The rest of the time they're just focused on doing damage. So I could see, especially since it's only 2,600. Shit, I might try starting with this bitch. I'm gonna be real with you. I get pen, I get damage, I get lifesteal and damage if I get too low. For 2,600, that's pretty damn cheap, actually. So decent change. Maybe it'll actually add more viability to it. We'll see how that goes. Eldritch Flame as well. The maximum health damage per tick increased. Now it'll do 1% damage per tick. And the total maximum, because it does stack, right? The total maximum that it will apply is 6% total maximum health damage. So Eldritch Flame getting a nice little buff. I think, again, because it was one of those items that kind of fell in the back burner, it hasn't really been used too much lately because there's been better items. Just giving another reason to maybe use it a little bit more for some of those mages out there. And then lastly, we see Goblin Glue. The slow that gets applied when you're in the Goblin Glue, when it gets activated, doubled. Now you're slowed down by 50% when you're in the black tar or whatever.
That's huge.
That's fucking mad. 50% slow, bruh? That's oppressive as shit. I feel bad for every countess that's about to dive on somebody with Goblin Glue.
And Fingmal.
And Fingmal. Everybody with a teleport or somebody that's trying to be evasive, a Kalari or something. Bruh, 50% is massive. That's actually pretty substantial of a change. But I will say, overall, I have heard, I even saw on Twitter, actually, somebody mentioning that this specific patch that affected their performance, they weren't getting any issues before, and now they're getting frame issues and such. So I do expect a hotfix patch, like they like to do or call them or whatever, to come out soon, right? But I'm not mad at it. I like it. It's a decent patch. They're trying to bring more relevance to a lot of items because it can feel like there aren't that many items because everybody's always using the meta items. Does that make sense? The build diversity is still kind of a little bit whack there. But no, I like it.
I like it, but to me, it's a standard patch, right? Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, let's go to, was it patch 15.3?
What are you talking about?
They made an announcement. They're like, hey, for these patches from here on are going to be focused on fixing bugs and getting us ready for free to play.
They did say that.
They did. This one seems more like these are just bugs that were just like recent bugs. Like this doesn't seem like it's, hey, these are bugs that have been in the game. These are, hey, we fixed this, this area, whatever they're clipping in this area. We fixed this. It's missing that, and I was expecting more of that. That one patch that we got, it was just a big old list of bugs. We went over it, and you literally felt like, hey, fix an issue or whatever. There was a certain phrase you kept on saying, repeat, and it was like, that was a lot of stuff. And I was expecting, 15.2. 15.2. I didn't scroll up high enough. That's kind of what I was thinking, but it says, let me get to it. I thought there was a phrase. Where did they say that? I thought they said it. Or was it at the bottom?
At the bottom. They did say, they did say that they were going to specifically focus on that. I get what you're saying, but I'm also thinking like
more of that.
Well, but you got to remember too, like their balance team isn't the same team that looks for bugs. You get me? Like their testers provide the feedback. Well, but I'm mentioning it because since it seems like a general patch, we're getting a little bit of balance. We're getting bug fixes. We're getting, item tweaks.
Even in this big one, like, I don't think it was 15.2.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not understanding. My bad. Like, what do you mean by you were expecting more? Just like more bug fixes or in general?
Yeah, like I like there's been bugs that have been in this game from the beginning that are still here. Like we're having issues with this, and people come in like, hey, when's this going to get fixed? When's this going to get fixed? And it's like been bugs that have been reported forever ago. And that's kind of like that's what I felt was the push. Like, hey, we're pushing for like full release, so this is what our focus is going to be. And that's what it pretty much said. I gotcha. I can't find out. I'll have to look it up or whatever. But like, that's kind of what that's what I felt these few patches were going to be. And now this one kind of falls off from that. It's still a good patch. I like it, but to me, it feels like the other patches before they made that announcement.
Like you wanted it to be a little bit more focused because of what they said.
I wanted to see some more issues that were, hey, this issue. Going off of what this patch, what 15.2 is, there was a lot of stuff like, hey, this was fixed. But I literally thought in that patch they made that statement, and I can't find it where it says that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because they do have a tendency that whenever, like, if it's a game-breaking bug, they'll patch it and throw it out, right? But if it's not a game-breaking bug, or if it's something really minor, I've noticed that they kind of like to just hold on to a few things and then just release a major bug fix patch. You get what I'm saying? Right. Like I feel like they go from like fixing three things
video about it and then they fix it right away.
Like the grip.
Perfect flying counters.
True. But yeah. I don't know, because it might just be a priority thing, because I totally get what you're saying. Like, I still feel like every once in a while I'll throw a Decker bomb and it disappears in their face as I hit them.
Yeah.
So I still feel, I get you. Like, there's definitely some things that are still there, but it's more of the, I guess, the urgency. Like, when the testers are going in there, when they're looking for these bugs, right? Like, there's obviously a priority. Maybe there's just some bugs that they're like, hey, man, honestly, that one pops up sometimes. It's not that big of a deal. People can still keep playing and do their thing. Maybe they should focus on other bugs.
Right.
But hopefully they'll get to them all. I'm curious as to how many bugs or how much stability are they going to work on before they feel like they're ready for free to play, right? Because the more shit they keep adding, like, bugs are bound to happen. Is this going to be an endless cycle that free to play might not come for like another year? Because it's just, oh, we found a new bug. We got to set it back a week. Oh, we found another bug. We got to set it back a week,
They'll never not have bugs. Paragon never.
No.
Yeah, it's a live service. Yeah, it's going to happen.
I'm not expecting that. But if you just look at 15.2 and 15.3, right?
Yeah.
And literally in 15.2 and 15.3, you have fix an issue. Like you literally repeat that phrase so many times. And there literally is just paragraphs of fix an issue. And then you go to 15.2 and there's just paragraphs of fix an issue, right? Those ones are like, all right, sweet. We're going through fixing these issues. And then you look at 15.4 and
there's like 4 things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, it's
so
not there. Like, it's
so is that
the point?
Is that an indicator?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is that an indication saying that we don't have that many more bugs left, or we're getting close to this, like getting things fixed, or what? That's what throws me. I was expecting more in that regard. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here. I'm just,
no, I got you.
When they made that announcement on one of the patch notes or somewhere they made that announcement, I remember reading it somewhere. Haven't found it yet, but
I will say one thing that we mentioned in the past, I still would love to see, and that's a known bugs section, like a list, a Trello, something of known bugs. And then once they get done with it, they can literally just cross it out or put a check mark next to it. It's been fixed.
Right.
Because it'd be cool to see the progression, right? Because they have fixed a ton of shit from the beginning. And there's stuff that happens, new bugs that pop up, always going to happen, right? But I would love to see that, like, an actively working on or actively trying to find the reason, right? Because community members like Mr. Mangoose here that goes in there and starts testing by himself, but never wants to call it testing. He'll go in there and try to literally break the game. He finds something, makes a video about it. Next thing you know, that shit got changed in less than a week because Mangoose brought it up. You feel me? Like, it's, if they had a list of shit that was going on, a lot of individuals could see that list and be like, I wonder if I could recreate that. And if they do recreate it, then they can report it as to, hey, this is how it happens.
It could possibly be from a hero too. You know how you were saying, Windu, that when testers go into the game and they test the game and are supposed to look for bugs, if they're not playing a certain hero in the game and that hero has a bug attached to it, or that specific hero gets stuck to a corner of a wall or something like that, they won't catch it. I mean, Countess's issue, I've only seen it in Mangus's video. I've never seen it in the game. Or how many games I've played, but it's obviously there, and it was a Countess issue.
And it got brought up, yeah. You know what? You bring up an interesting topic. Let me ask you guys' opinion on this, and I would love to hear from the live chat that's here. Would it be bad if Strange Matters made a post asking the community to help? Because we are all paid testers, right? Like even if it doesn't have to be like a major post on all social media or whatever, right? Maybe if it's just an announcement in a Discord only. But if they put like, hey, there's this specific bug on Sparrow that we're trying to fix. We would love help from the community fixing it. If you guys can replicate this and catch it on video, submit it to us. So help us find the cause so we can actually just get rid of the bug and move on forward to the next one, you know? Because we are all paid testers. Why not use all the paid testers to your advantage instead of just hoping that they randomly come across? Because you might see then now there's a lot more people picking Sparrow trying to help out and you know, help the game progress.
Right. Well, I mean, so some of the things like that kind of ties into what the topics of the things that I think that we need to get done before we go full release, right? And my main thing was optimization. Like, optimization needs to get taken care of before we go full release. So we go full release and we're having these frame drop issues. That's going to be bad, right? When people, you know, because there's going to be people who have potato rigs that are going to want to play this game and they're not going to be able to play it. And then it's just, they're going to be turned away and then they're going to go play another game that they'll be able to play because of the optimization and what they've been able to do. All right. So that needs to happen. All right. An actual marketing plan needs to be in place for full release before we go full release. Like, we got to have something set up to where we're able to sell this game just by marketing alone. And then what you were talking about, my other thing was, I think they need more behind the scenes testers, right? I think that I don't know how many testers there are, but I don't think there's enough, because there's, when you introduce a patch, there's going to be bugs. I understand that. But sometimes I feel like there's a lot more of these bugs that should have been found or should have been taken care of. And I think if you have more testers, you have the ability to figure that out. And I think that's something, if you're able to get 3 games going at once or whatever, or I don't know how many testers there are, like literally, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's 10 people testing and that's what you calling testers, and they run a new game and they're sitting there messing things around, trying to figure it out. I don't know how it works. I'm not a tester. Haven't been there, but I just think they need more. The more they have, the more chances they have to find those bugs before these patches go live.
I think tester could go up too. I mean, they do have mech.
Damn! I said get mech out. Yo, actually, but shouldn't they be taking advantage of the fact that we're in early access and everybody is a paid tester? And instead of just having a select group for testing specifically, just let everybody know in big bold letters, hey, you are a tester now. Any bugs that you find, please report them. So if you could submit a video clip, even better.
Yeah, they need a better reporting system before they do that, I think. An in-game reporting system would be nice.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hopefully not that Discord bot that they had before, because that shit was kind of whack. So something better.
Bearded took one of the reasons for me too before full release, optimization, obviously. For me too, being that Fault right now on the platform of MOBAs is ahead of everybody. And when I say ahead of everybody, I'm not talking about what people think of the game or what, right? It's the only playable game. It's come a long way. They have 2 years of experience, bugs, whether it's bugs, map design, and everything. I would genuinely like to see Fault have at least one of their own heroes. SMS to have at least one that they created. We all know what Paragon heroes do. A little bit of tweak here, a little bit of tweak there it's not as surprising, you know what I mean? So before going on a full release, I would like to see at least one, and possibly if they're on that track right now, at least one console release or some kind of a tease that they're working on console. You don't have to do it to all of them. You don't have to do it to all of them. Do it to PlayStation, maybe do it Xbox, or if you want to go on the Switch somehow or whatever, but at least one, you know what I mean? Just have it on there. It would be great. Honestly, as a mobile player and as a Fault player, a Paragon player, I would love to see what SMS comes up with their creativity, because we know they have the talent.
See, I'm with you.
When it comes to a hero.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I don't think they'll ever do that, because I think the backlash of not finishing the original heroes would be bigger than the praise that they'll get from creating their own.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
Right. And I don't think that's something that is needed for full release. Like, I think that's a nice to have, as Magus would say before. That's something, if you're able to do that, that's nice to have situation. But I'm talking about like things that you like, for us to go full release and have it be successful right now. I don't think having their own hero is something that's going to be successful. I think they can be successful just having Paragon heroes.
Well, not the success. I was thinking of a more of getting farther ahead and making that gap bigger compared to other MOBAs that are going to come up. Right.
Proof of concept for future potential.
Yes, because they are in the lead, and making that gap a little bigger by coming out and saying, look, we promise you guys we're going to give you all the Paragon heroes, but here's what we also have on our end. You know what I mean? Here's what our creative team did. That's all I was saying. As far as success, I know it's going to be successful. It's just,
but I think that's more on the marketing side of it. Just to be able to market it. I don't think that really is anything to do. Not anything. I don't think that really is a deciding factor on full release. I think the hero, the new hero, or their own hero, and showing that they're pushing for console or whatever. I think that's all marketing. I don't think that it will be a full release effect for PC in any regard. Like I think, I mean, I get what you're saying, and those are great things. Like if they're able to do that, that says a lot. You know, like Megu said, proof of concept. You know, we're getting there. That's good. But like when we're talking about full release, like we're like basically thinking when I say a full release, I'm talking about like when they did the release of early access, when they opened up early access and how that release happened. You know, they had some issues going through. What do they need to do here to not have those issues minus half the internet shutting down, right? Let's not count that as the issue they had. They had their own issues as well that tied into that. What do they need to do to have a very smooth full release for this game?
I think you've already covered the one necessity, which is optimization.
Yeah, just minor changes.
That is absolutely necessary. Everything else is just icing on the cake right now.
Like, you know how I categorize it? And this is more of a sport reference. You might like this, Beard. So for me, seeing these companies and what they've been doing over the years, because Fault has been a live service game already for, 2 years, basically, right? Or officially a year, like a year and 3/4 at this point. Because they've been a live service game already for that long, Fault is like that experience, that player that has experience. They still got shit to work on. They're not the best player on the team, but they got experience. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then we have Overprime, which to me is like, hey, this is all player that has talent, but they don't have too much experience as a company, but they do have a good coach. And that's Netmarble. You get what I'm saying as far as that perspective?
Right. Yeah.
And then we have Overprime that we're like, hey, the scouts, we gotten to scout them a little bit. They've got talent. We've seen they got moves, but they haven't really played a season. So we don't know how they are in the actual long term, right? We've only seen from the tryouts. So there's different.
You meant Predecessor there.
Predecessor, sorry, yeah, Predecessor. What did I say?
I was like, well, you said Overprime.
Oh, my bad. So on that one, Predecessor.
I'm like,
yeah.
You said Netmarble with the other one. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, my bad. On that one, that's my B. On that one, I meant Predecessor, but we've seen very, very different approaches to them, right? And they all got areas that they need to grow on in their own way. I do think that Strange Matters has had their fair share of issues, right? I think that Strange Matters has developed much more as a company, and they've come a long way. And I really, give them kudos for the progress that they've made as a company. But one of the things that is affecting Strange Matters, and this is something that there really is no way around it. They either have to find somebody that has a lot of experience running a gaming company, but usually that comes with a decent salary. You know what I mean? They might not be able to afford that or want to afford it, right? They might want to just keep it a little bit more organic. But then there's the other side. If they keep it more organic growth, then that also means that they are going to be making every mistake in the book until they know, hey, let's not do that again. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it pays to have a good coach. That coach might cost a lot of money, or that coach might cost something in trade, right? Shares, the company, etc. But sometimes having that coach, that bigger company on your side, can make the player better.
Right.
A player can naturally get better and be one of the best players of all time, right? You can mention any of the greats in any sport, but that's going to take a shit ton of I've made mistakes, but I learned from them,
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to go for the latter. I don't see Strange Matters bringing in a big CEO that knows about, in the gaming industry or anything, or somebody major. I think that they're going to try and keep it grassroots. And I do think that it's important for everybody to understand that expectation, that this is a company that if this is the route that they go, they will make mistakes. We just have to hope that they learn from them.
Yeah.
Was that a decent analogy? Was that bad? Was it horrible?
No, it was really good. I liked it. It works. It fits really well with all three of them.
I want to answer to a chat, somebody that commented in the chat. I don't want people to misunderstand when I say in the lead. This has nothing to do with just the gameplay of the game or anything like that. My point when I say it's in the lead, I rather have a unicycle in a race than have a completely built car without an engine. Now, all these other games, regardless of how the platform will turn later on in the future, all these other games are not playable. This is the only playable game you have. So SMS has a very big opportunity to make that gap bigger. You know what I mean? Of course, it comes with a lot of risk. Windu's also right, but on the back end, SMS has gone through a lot of crap on their own. You know what I mean? Of course, they've gone through issues with the back end, gone through issues with maps, gone through issues with optimization. I mean, that's all experience that the other ones still have to come to.
I will say, because I completely understand what Shad just said in the chat. He said, I'd rather not play anything than play Fault. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I respect it, because there are going to be individuals that they don't want to play a work in progress. They want to play a finished product. But it is just setting the expectation that whatever game you play, all of these Paragon projects, it's probably going to be a little while until they're considered finished. And then they can progress from that, like that line to cross, right? It's going to be a few years, at least 1 to 2 years minimum for every company.
Yeah. Your statement's not incorrect at all, but your statement involving Shad is incorrect, because Shad is one of the biggest ethereal simps, and he can't wait to play an unfinished ethereal. That guy will drop everything to play an unfinished ethereal right now. It's not because he wants to wait for a finished product. That's just more shade, not Shad, thrown towards.
Oh, that's shade, might be.
Actually, no, Shad. His name is Shad.
Oh, Shad is throwing shade, is what you're saying. Okay, never mind.
There was no confusion with what I'm saying, that he's throwing shade towards Fault, not Shad. So
no, but the way that statement said. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say this. There's a lot of people that do feel that way. There's a lot of people that play Fault, and they'll play Overprime, and they'll play Predecessor, and they just want a finished product. And it's important to understand that, like, yo, you have a better chance of all these games coming in a rough state, early access, alpha, whatever, to console first, than it being labeled a finished product on PC. It's just the finished product is a very, very loose term that these games might honestly never reach, because they're constantly evolving. There are a lot of people that feel that way.
I don't think a MOBA ever makes a finished product. I think MOBA is always ever evolving. And technically, League of Legends is considered a finished product, but it's not if you really look at it. It's always changing. The meta is always changing. The balancing is always evolving. Like, there's always stuff going on to it. I don't think it's ever finished. They're always adding new heroes and all that stuff.
I agree. I think it's more just like an individual standard that everybody has, like that line that needs to be crossed. That it's like, hey, once they have at least this many heroes, at least this many items, at least this good looking of a map, in their mind, it's like, hey, this is basically finished. Like, in their eyes, right? And it's going to be subjective. But
right.
I will say, like, a lot of people definitely don't, like, a lot of people didn't realize that all these games 2-3 years ago, that it was going to take 2-3 years just to get to where we are right now.
Right.
And it might take another 2-3 years until these games are fully fledged, like, hey, actually making an impact in the gaming world.
Right.
Because they're entering a market that is dominated by giants that have been here 10-20 years. It is not going to be easy.
And even those giants have hurdles that they have to go over. And they screw up.
One major way into it, though, console.
Yeah, I mean, when I make a comment, I try to keep the personal, like the experience with the game, out of it. If you look at it as a business and a perspective of marketing business, yeah, the console is probably going to be that finish line they're crossing without having to cross a finish line, if it makes sense. It's that, like, it's going to be that, like, fine line.
Yeah, I'll just say too, I almost want Riot League of Legends to come to console before fault Predecessor over any of these companies, because the only education in the console market about MOBAs is Smite and then the failed Genesis project, basically. Like, there isn't really too much MOBA genre domination in the console market. If a massive giant like League of Legends hops into console, which they plan to with their Wild Rift shit, right? If they hop into console and they pay for all the marketing to educate the world on what a MOBA is, now people are going to be searching for MOBAs in the PlayStation Store. Now there might be a genre tab, the checkmark MOBAs in the PlayStation Store, because they're going to be multiple. And now all these companies can benefit from those search inquiries as a, hey, here's a 3D MOBA. The fuck is that? Let me click on that. I would rather play that instead of this 2D MOBA or like top-down MOBA. You get what I'm saying? I kind of maybe piggyback off of all the advertising and marketing that League of Legends might do, and just kind of try to be on the across the street like, hey, car wash for free. Like, that shit might work. But yeah, so let's do this, guys. We've been here for a bit. It's about that time. Let's go ahead and conclude here. So, starting with Stunt, what do you got to say to the community, homie? Like, your own 2 cents.
Hey, I'm always here with all these guys to help you guys out. If you guys want to jump into a game, if you guys want to try the game out again, just patience. I guess that's all it is. We're always here to help you guys out. We're always here to give you pointers. Just have patience. I mean, I understand that it's taking a little while. I understand that certain things aren't being reached, or certain expectations of yours aren't being reached, but that's how it is. These guys are an indie company, self-funded, so just give them time. Just trust in them and let them do their thing.
True. Goose, you got anything you'd like to add? Your 2 cents?
This isn't really an analogy or anything to do with fault. Just Stunt gave me a really good idea when he was talking about unicycles and motors. I would love to have a motorized unicycle. I think it would be awesome to pass somebody on the highway while I'm juggling.
Pretty sure that's already a thing.
I like that.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure you can go buy a motorized unicycle right now, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
They have a self-balancing unicycle. You just sit on it; it'll do the balancing for you.
Man, that's a pussy ass shit. Give me.
Get me the fuck out! I can't with them, bro. Bearded, you got
All
anything?
I got from that is Mangoose likes to play with balls.
Yeah, 3 at a time, preferable.
Well, he has a vibrating motor under him, so
I don't even need a seat on that unicycle.
Get me out, bro. I can't. Bearded, what's your 2 cents, bro? What do you got to say to the community?
Hey, put yourself out there. Make some videos. If you think you can, like Black Tim's did, made that tutorial for mid lane. If you think you can help out, with whatever role or whatever, so maybe you think you have a better way of, itemizing the item shop or something. How you go through that or whatever. Make the videos. Post the videos, and Strange Matter. You post them. Other people see them. Strange Matter will, give you a little shout out, stuff like that. It's worth it because all you're gonna do is gonna help improve the community. So,
True.
Put your 2 cents out there.
Very true. And actually, I'll piggyback off of that one. Like, it's specifically fault, right? But in general, like, these 3D MOBAs are a very, very good starting point for a lot of content creators, right? And it's one of those things that, I mean, even Stunt here can tell you, like, if you start creating content in this community, you have a higher chance of success as opposed to other games because you are on the ground floor. So along with Bearded, I encourage people to start creating content on Fault and all that as quick as possible. Let's start getting videos out there, get your name recognized. It's a very, very good opportunity to get a leg up in the game. But at the end of the day, low key, keep the pressure up is what I would tell people. because it's important, like, right? Like, be mindful, be considerate of the situation. They're an indie game company, but the pressure brought on by the consumers is what gets better result from these companies. So it's very important to keep that constant pressure and keep that expectation, like, hey, we want stuff to work this way, or this needs to be fixed, etc. Because, like I always say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You want to make sure that we get as good of a game as possible. And if you got to make some noise, if you got to be loud about it, so be it. I don't got a problem with that. There's just a way to go about doing all that, right?
Right.
But yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Again, guys, if you've made it this far, please leave a GG down below in the comments. If you could, these podcasts / videos are always available also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. We do stream them live every single Friday at 8:30 p.m. if I'm on time Eastern on Bearded Wolverine's channel, and then they do get uploaded the following Wednesday to YouTube if he uploads it on time also. So
if you're here from the beginning, put a pig emote in chat.
Bro, where you at? If you heard that comment, put the pig emote up. Let's go.
Statement.
I was hoping you guys had forgotten about that.
Bruh, I can't believe that sneaked right in, bruh.
I've been over here giggling to myself because I've been playing in the show with the pig has been fucked.
That's gonna be
I can't with him, bruh.
a short YouTube video.
That's how I'm going to sign off all my videos now. The pig has been fucked.
You won't. Next 3 videos, at least. Where you at? Instead of man, goo, hey, do it, bro.
Don't end your videos like that.
Do it. All right, homies. Much love. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Peace.
Peace.
Squeak.